Good morning, students. So first of all, I am welcoming you. So welcome back all of you in class 9th science. So students, before going in a summer holidays, as you know that we have completed chapter 2 from chemistry portion. Chapter 1 is matter around us, chapter 1 matter in our surrounding, and chapter 2 is matter around us pure. So students, today we are going to start with the physics portion with chapter 8, that is motion. So students, I want to explain you first what is motion with the simple examples. So if a body does not changes its position with respect to the time and the surroundings, then it is said to be rest, else it is said to be in motion. For example, birds fly, fish swim, blood flows through veins and arteries, and car moves. Atoms, molecules, planets, stars and galaxies are all in motion. So the phenomena of the sunrise, sunset and the changing of season is due to the motion of earth, as you know. So an object may appear to be moving for one person and stationary for some other. For example, for the passenger in a moving bus, the roadside trees appear to be moving backward. So we can say that motion and the rest always relative but never absolute. It means an object in one situation can be at rest, but in another situation the same object can be in the motion. So most motions are complex. Some objects may move in a straight line while other take a circular path, and some may rotate and few other may vibrate. There may be a situations involving combination of these. So first we will take a topic, how can we describe the motion. So students, we can describe the motion by the describing the two terms, that is distance and displacement. So first I want to clear you the definition of motion. So in scientific language we can say that motion is the change in a position of a body with the time. So motion can be described in the terms of distance moved or the displacement. And to describe the location of an object, we have to assume a reference point. So what is reference point? Reference point is a fixed point or a fixed object with respect to which the given body changes its position is known as a reference point or origin, we can say. So reference point may be a fixed object or may be a fixed point. For example, let us assume that your school is 2000 meter north of your home. So in this case we have specified the position of the school with respect to the home. So here your home is the reference point. So students, now I think it is clear what is reference point and what is position. Position, it is the point in a space that an object occupies. So it is the point in a space that an object occupies. So by the describing or by assuming the reference point, we can describe the location of the object. So we can describe the motion by describing the distance and displacement. What is distance? Distance is the actual length of the path travelled by the body. So this what is distance? Distance is travelled by the body in the actual length of the path covered by a moving body, irrespective of the direction in which body travel. That means it is not depending on the direction. So it is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is meter. For example, we can consider a simple example. Suppose a moving object, suppose any object is moving in a straight path. Suppose the object starts its journey from point O, which is treated as a reference point or origin, as you can see in the figure also. And we can take a point A, B and C represent the position of the object in different instants. So at the first, object move through C and B and reaches A. Then it move back along the same path and reaches C through B. So what is the distance? Distance is total distance covered by the object is, or we can say total path is OA plus AC. As you can see, OA is the 60 kilometer and AC is 35 kilometer. So the distance traveled by the body is 95 kilometers. So that is also the total path length covered by the object. And what is displacement? Displacement is the length of the shortest path traveled by the body from its initial position to its final position. So here displacement is, we can describe or we can recognize the displacement here as a from O to C only, because the final position is O and initial position is O and the final position is C. So displacement is the only O C, or we can say C to O. So that is 25 kilometers, because it is the shortest path, because displacement is known as the shortest path traveled by the body. So shortest path is OC, that is 25 kilometer. And what is a path length? It is the length of the curve joining the initial and final position along which the particle has actually moved. So students, now you know that the what is the difference between distance and displacement. Distance is the total path covered by the moving body, and displacement is the length of the shortest path travelled by the body from the initial position to the final position. So that is all about the distance and displacement, and by describing the distance and displacement we can define the motion also. So students, now it is clear to you that what is motion, what is distance and what is displacement. Now we will take the another term, that is types of motion, we can say. So motion can be uniform or motion can be non-uniform. So how can we define uniform motion and non-uniform motion? Suppose we can say uniform motion, as it is clear with the name only what is uniform motion. If a body is said to have a uniform motion, that means it is travelling equal distance in a equal interval of time. Okay. So if a body is said to have a uniform motion if it travel equal distance in a equal interval of time. Okay. So no matter how small these intervals may be. Okay. So this is all about the uniform motion. Now we will describe the uniform and non-uniform motion. Now we will study about the different type of motion. So we can consider motion as a uniform motion and non-uniform motion. What is uniform motion? If a body travels equal distance in an equal interval of time, then it is said to be in uniform motion. And non-uniform motion, if a body travel unequal distance in equal interval of time, it is said to be in a non-uniform motion. So uniform motion, we can say a body is said to have a uniform motion if it travel equal distance in equal interval of time. No matter how small these intervals may be, the distance travelled by an object in uniform motion increase linearly. For example, a car moving along a straight line path such that it cover equal distance in equal interval of time, then it is said to be uniform motion. And the distance time graph for a body having uniform motion in a straight line. And what is about the example of uniform motion? Suppose an aircraft cruising at level height and a steady speed, and a ship steaming on a straight course at steady speed, and a train going along the track at steady speed. So these are the example of uniform motion. Then what about non-uniform motion? A body is said to have a non-uniform motion if it travels unequal distances in equal interval of time, no matter how small these intervals may be. For example, a car moving through a crowded market has non-uniform motion. The distance time graph for an object having non-uniform motion is a curve. Okay. So we can say when a body travel equal distance in equal interval of time, then it is said to be uniform motion. And if a body travel unequal distance in a equal interval of time, then it is said to be non-uniform motion. So that is all about uniform and non-uniform motion. Then what about the speed? So the speed of the body is the distance travelled by the body in unit time. Unit time means we can say speed is equal to distance upon time. So speed of an object is defined as the distance travelled by it per unit time. That means distance, we can denote distance here by small s, and time denoted as a small t, and speed is denoted by small v. So v is here speed, so v is equal to s upon t. So if a body travel distance s in a time t, then its speed is equal to v, and the SI unit of speed is meter per second, and speed has only magnitude, so it is scalar quantity. That means it is not depending upon the direction. Then average speed. What about the average speed? Average speed is the ratio of the total distance travelled to the total time taken. That means average speed is equal to total distance travelled divided by total time taken. So we can say it is defined as the ratio of the total distance travelled by an object to the total time taken. So it is expressed as a average speed is equal to total distance travelled upon total time taken. Suppose if first distance is s1, then s2, then s3, then we can write down s1 plus s2 plus s3 and continue, then divided by